So this is Bryson here to discuss my new student dialogue of mental health in college, awareness and stigmas. And our group did pretty well in our dialogue. I feel like everyone discussed pretty well. It was a little quiet at first, but just getting in, didn't know anybody, so did a lot of warm up to everybody. And then the group talked well. Dynamics went pretty well, I guess. Everybody participated, and once it got going, everybody shared their ideas, and we talked a lot. There's a bunch of active voices. There's a few people that talked a lot more than others, a few more outgoing people. There are a couple more reserved people that didn't say as much as others, but still, participated pretty well. I feel like I talked a lot on every topic and said my opinion and discussed what I need to discuss. The dialogue was a useful tool. I think I learned a lot. They started off had us do some activities. We started out by filling out some forms. This one here. And personally about ourselves, ethnicity, social class, gender, sexual orientation, or age, and there's all sorts of different stuff about ourselves. And we had to get with somebody, like a partner, and discuss this and talk about who we are and like where we ranked each of those things in our lives, which was pretty interesting, I guess, to get to know people. It was a good activity to kind of see what everybody else in the room was like, because I started new student dialogue is about mental health, and it's a good place to start to find out what people are like, and you might not know people, you might not know that much about them, and so we learn to be sensitive to their opinions and who they are, so it's a good way to start off to talk to them. And then we picked one that was a big impact in our life, and we kind of outlined it, how we grew in that throughout our lives. So it made a big impact on us that I guess helped a lot now. And what was really effective, one of our group leaders shared a personal story of her struggles with depression and some things she struggled with her in life that was kind of mental health, and then had us go to a board, and she would call out different mental health things like depression or anxiety or post-traumatic stress disorder, and we would just write down the first words that came to mind. And a lot of them are very negative, very mean, and so we kind of talked about how there's a lot of the stigma around mental health is very bad, and people aren't very understanding about it, but it's a very big problem that needs to be discussed and talked about, and people need to be more open and accepting to it, and trying to figure out ways to avoid the negative stigmatism that kind of hovers around that. And then we talked about Clemson campus and what there is here. And there's regular counselors that are available. You can go to, like, your first 10 sessions are free if you don't feel like that. And even when you're talking and you're like, I have a test tonight, if I'm going to commit suicide, it's going to be so hard. Stuff like that can be offensive if somebody actually has contemplated suicide or different things. Talking about being anxious or stressed out. Somebody could really struggle with these problems. If you're making fun of it, people overhear you. It could really be a big deal. I guess we had no, so it's just kind of like raising awareness for letting people know what's going on. So getting to know the group, I guess, was good because it was encouraged us to like listen to other people's values, get to what other people appreciated and what they were like as a person, and so kind of brought down barriers. Not as much judgment was going on. You're walking, you don't know anybody, and you look around the room. So definitely teaches respect, because you never know what to expect from somebody. They could have a mental health issue and you would have no idea. I mean, you could be talking about how crazy somebody is, and the person beside you could be bipolar and could take offense to that and get really depressed about it and contemplate suicide. I mean, it's kind of a big deal that people just don't realize. And I think people need more open about it because it's shunned. And all the negative words we thought about, we compared it to different things. And then we watched a video about this guy who jumped off like the Brooklyn Bridge or something, some big bridge, and he ended up living. And he went up and he told a story about this guy who tried to commit suicide, and the story of what happened, and at the end of it he told it was him. And I thought it was a very effective way to show that, like, wow, these things are real and actually happens with people, and you don't realize it when you look around because people are so scared to talk about it, but it should be something that people not feel open to talk about, should feel comfortable to talk about in an open setting, so they wouldn't feel so depressed or so alone. They knew that people to talk to, and that mental health issues aren't as big of a deal as they think they are. They can actually get help and seek help, and everything's gonna be okay. So it's a very good way to get the word out there and spread the message. So I'm now definitely more aware than I was going into this. I had no idea that all this is present on the college campus. So definitely think I learned a lot, and it was very successful overall. It was a good component of Library 100. It's a good way to get to know the university, get to the campus, get to know different situations and settings that happen in college. So I thought on well. And this was my video blog for Library 100 for the New Student Dialogue, Mental Health in College, Awareness and Stigma.